Hey y'all, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, I was trying to postpone as long as I could because I'm trying to get in the door. It's 8:20 here on the East Coast, so wherever you are in the world, I'm on the East Coast in the United States, and it is what we call mom pickup hour, okay, or mom drop off. So I just did that, and then I'm tending to dogs who just got up and are very vocal. So at the end of the day, this is what it is. I'm not in a podcasting studio. Um, I am at home, okay, and I do this. This is a mom podcast, okay. So I do this in my home, and you're going to hear all the sounds of a home. Okay. So just to also give some encouragement to some of y'all out there that want to do this, that want to hit the go live button, that want to post content. You don't have to have the perfect environment, but if you have a podcasting studio and you want to invest money into your channel before it makes money, go ahead and do that. Me personally, I do it right here in my house, and, sometimes the dogs are vocal, sometimes they're not. So, I mean, in the comments, you'll hear sometimes people make comments about the dogs barking. It is what it is. I mean, they live here with me and my husband and all that. So it is what it is. But good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I came here first because I know I wanted to go live last night, and I had too much to do. Um here at the house, and I just didn't feel like I was going to offer anything new to the conversation, because the tea had already been dropped by Pam Esquire, the Law Intellect, and Chronicle Speaks. So I felt like I had seen Chronicle Speaks um, prior to me going live yesterday, and then I caught Pam's broadcast after she had been live. And she obviously went into a little bit more detail. Chronicle Speaks gave a nice kind of high level overview. And then Pam went into more detail. So yeah, if you haven't seen either one of those, definitely catch them. If you're watching me and you're focused in on this case, I'm sure you're familiar with those channels. So I would imagine that you're already subscribed. But yeah, the tea was dropped yesterday. Well, I guess it was dropped a few days before. There were some suspicions. I think Pam was probably doing her work in terms of pulling the documents and trying to make it all make sense. And then yesterday they came with the receipts, and the receipts are basically that Shirley's marriage is null and void. I mean, me personally, after listening to that, I would still want an attorney to just button it up legally, because this man has too much nonsense going on. And I'm talking obviously about Shirley and Ernesto. We're just gonna jump right in. I think Ernesto has way too much bullshit going on to just walk away and pretend like nothing ever happened. Like, oh, we're not married. It never happened. Da, da, da. And I'm not saying anyone said to do that. What I'm saying is this man has been running around using Sis's name, all kinds of stuff. I would want something very legal and something filed, some sort, because they went and got a marriage license. Y'all, if they went and got a marriage license, which I'm assuming that they did, they got a marriage license. They had a real wedding. They have a certificate of marriage. I would want it annulled. So they don't need a divorce per se, but I think they definitely need to have some sort of documentation, at least for Shirley, because this man, she has no clue what this guy was doing with her name. I think the only thing it's going to start to come out whenever he goes to trial. But with the host of charges he has, we don't know if he's going to be charged for everything. All like, I'm quite sure some of these crimes could be charged separately, because we've seen in other cases when you've got financial crimes, they separate that. Each different crime can get their own trial. So I don't know if they would run everything all together. Like, okay, we're going to focus on this right now. We're going to focus on that right now. I think maybe the things that are related maybe could go together. I'm not sure. I'm sure they're probably sitting around thinking, with all of it, with any of these indictments or all of these indictments, or when everything is finally indicted, how would they even structure a case? Um, to be able to put on a defense to or even to try to negotiate down some of the things that he's got that may not be as serious as the capital offenses, but he it's just a mess. This guy has so much, and if they pursue a bigamy charge on him, I don't even know if they're even going to go after something like that. Are they even aware? Because just as it kind of broke on YouTube, this information, I almost feel like I wonder if Shirley even knows, because it seems like Sis is the last to know everything. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Erica, India, Michelle, AK, officially Lori, officially Lori, Erica, Double H. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Max. Good morning. Kitten, good morning, sis. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I think I said India. Good morning to everyone who's here. Good morning, guys. I just don't know. So I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, regardless of Shirley's status or not, I just think that this is a very interesting case. I guess we'll see what the interest level is after things kind of die down a little bit, just because, I mean, okay, we've heard the calls. We know that there's a side chick. I think that has kind of settled in. I feel like with the news of yesterday, like, was anyone even discussing Sonya? I think Sonya is kind of becoming an afterthought, which, if you're a side chick, you got to kind of be used to that, because side chicks never get prime time. And yesterday was a clear indication of side chick is that, yes, sis wasn't even getting prime time, because we were talking about the wives yesterday. And it turns out that Shirley, unbeknownst to her, was a whole side chick, because Ernesto was already married. So I would want something legal. I'm sorry. I would need to have something drawn up, because credit wise, all of the shenanigans he's done, I would need some sort of legal documentation to and filed with the court that this guy was with the shits. That not only was this guy dishonest and a known convicted felon on top of additional felonies, but also, guess what? He never got a divorce from his first wife, and look at what happened. Like, I would just want to make sure I've got my ducks in a row, so the minute that it comes up, his shenanigans, I've got my paperwork with everything that I need, because this guy, it's a mess. It's just a mess. So not only is Ernesto, I mean, potentially a bigamist, let's just say allegedly, um, he knew, he had to have known, he knew, he knew. I don't believe for a minute that he did not know that he was still married, whether he even had contact with this woman or not. I've been looking for other news about this. This should be covered by larger media. I almost feel like, okay, I'm gonna say this, Jay. Um, okay. I just This is a very interesting story. I think at this point it's so complicated. I'm sure they're going to it will be covered eventually. I think the fact that it's being covered by the internet will have it covered as soon as, like, a Shade Room or TMZ or anything start to pick up this aspect of the story, the tea. Because this is interesting tea. The fact that he's already married, that could hit, but you see what hit and opened up, when it involves Steve Harvey, right? So once the tea kind of circulates a little bit, and somebody who's at a desk at one of these larger, like, gossip sites, like a TMZ, Shade Room, whatever, it might hit something like e-news, or even, I don't say it's not breaking news, it's just more tea, right? So e-news, things like that. Maybe they're talking about it in Atlanta, so you probably have to search Atlanta news. Shirley's just not that big of a celebrity. I think she is very well known because of her boss, but she's just not, people aren't checking for her like that. Wow. So he's married. He was married, never got a divorce, but Shirley's marriage wasn't even legal. Um, I'll say, yeah, I would just assume it's just not valid. I mean, I think they went through the legal channels. They got their marriage license, I would imagine. They probably got their deed. I would just say that as much time as the cities and the states have spent trying to cross-reference the police systems, the DMV system, Homeland Security, all of the stuff that they have done over the past 10 years to be able to see, like, oh, your license is suspended in Michigan, or your license, or you don't have a license, your license, whatever. Just like they have us all now, these the our driver's licenses, we had to change over driver's licenses and all those things. There are certain things that if the city and the state are holding record on, births, deaths, marriages, divorces, um, that change your name, change your marital status, that give you tax privileges, all of those things. Some of those basic things I feel like should be in some sort of main database. I mean, I would imagine at least Homeland Security. If you get married, you file a marriage license, and then you end up with your marriage certificate, your deed of marriage, and or someone is born, someone dies, you change your name with Social Security, like all of these things. Like, I just don't see how bigamy can even happen at this point. They have so much information and collect so much data. Why are things like that still written down in record books? Why are things like that still only in one place to where somebody can actually do that? You can't go get two driver's licenses. How can you be married twice? How can you be married three? Like, it's just, it doesn't even make sense to me that in 2023, with all of this data, that when you go to fill out a marriage license application, that there's not something in the computer that states, well, we're still showing you pending. We saw in the county of such and such, you filed for divorce. That divorce does not appear to be final. I know, watching Pam yesterday, they said some states require divorce documents, some don't. Um, so maybe they have some sort of way to cross reference. I don't know. It might just be also when you do go get your marriage license. I can't remember because it's been almost 10 years for us, um, since we got married. I'll be married 10 years this March. So, gosh, when we got our marriage license, I don't even remember. I'll have to look back because I know we took pictures at the marriage license office. But I also do remember that after they took our application, we stood there with the clerk, and the clerk did make us swear to something. Like, we took some sort of, maybe, like, I'm not going to lie and say I remember exactly what was said, but I do remember that we had to kind of like put our hand up and promise that the information that is on the application was true, and like a couple of other things. Like, we kind of swore on that document that everything was correct and true and things of that nature, right? And he had a passport, like he's in the system, right? He's in major systems. Why they were not able to cross reference, but maybe that's not a data point that they collect. I don't know, but I think if being married multiple times is like, it's so easy for people to run around and call people your husband or call people your wife, and they're not, wifey, whatever, all the euphemisms that people use for someone that they want to give a status that they're not legally bound to. Um, the fact that when you actually go to get married and there's no check and balance, Because I guarantee you, if I go try to get a license in another state, they're going to look me up and they're going to say, well, you're going to have to surrender your North Carolina driver's license. Hi, Yolanda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rhonda, good morning. Um, yeah, all systems are not linked, but I just don't. And I know that that's an incredible project because of, jurisdiction and different states, different laws, all these kind of things. But now more than ever, because we are so like accessible through phones and computers and everything, these systems at least need to be able to talk to each other, even though laws may overlap in different ways and what's okay in one state is not okay in another. But vital statistics, like just because I produce a piece of paper with a seal on it doesn't mean that it's authentic. Like, I just don't understand how, if in the passport, the Homeland Security and all of that, there's just certain records. I don't know. Maybe Homeland Security needs to keep that. If you've got a marital status distinction, even just that should be updated. Married, single, divorced, whatever. Because, and I know this happened almost 8 years ago, but at the end of the day, that's just something that I'm sure just is a matter of like a Homeland Security creating and having the states opt into it and then doing a data dump and then sorting the information. I mean, it's easy enough done. But we're at a point right now, we have so many people, our populations are so large. If they ever want to really try to, and I know people are funny about people of the government keeping up with us in certain ways, but it's, if you don't want to be at a point in your life, y'all, it's morning here, okay? If you don't want to be at a certain point in your life where you are, girl, they are chasing each other around, where you find out that you've spent however much money on a wedding, you have introduced the world to quote unquote your husband, and then you have to deal with the embarrassment of the fact that not only is he just a piece of shit, but on top of that, Sir was never actually divorced, and like everything was just like, not only was it a lie, but it's just a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie. He did her so dirty. He did her so dirty. And I'm not going to say Shirley deserves it, doesn't deserve it. I would love for you guys to chime in if you're on the replay when you hear this. Definitely chime in the chat right now. um I don't think that anyone deserves to be lied to in this manner. I don't know that it was a deliberate act, but he had to know when Miss Martha applied and it went dismissed, then he applied and never completed the process. Then she applied. I mean, this was over a span of many years. So he didn't finally become divorced until 2021. He got married in 2015 to Shirley. They could have very easily gone and got married again, but that would require that they would have had to know. Okay. So, and the marriage license that would have been used back in 2015, that would be null and void because he's married. So a grounds for an annulment, one of which is fraud, and or the person is already married. There's many different reasons. If you watch the attorney Pam Esquire, you would know this. Guys, go ahead and hit the like button for me. We have almost 400 in minutes and we have 93 likes. So I thank everyone for liking. I appreciate that. And if you are enjoying this morning, go ahead and hit the like button and elevate the energy and handle that business with this pleasure. Okay. So yeah, that's the tea at the moment. And it was substantiated by documents. If you go to Chronicle Speaks and Pam Esquire, the law intellect, you will see that. So that was what the tea was yesterday, that Ernesto is a whole bigamist out here. And Not currently, because he is now divorced. However, at the end of the day, he he's not married. He's not married to Martha anymore. They are now divorced, but his marriage to Shirley would be null and void, because at the time that they got married and that the marriage license was executed, he was not in a legal position to do so. Why do some names have blue wrenches? Some names have blue wrenches because they are a mod, so they have additional functionality, so that if someone, if depending on the energy in the chat, if something needs to be slowed down, if a comment needs to be deleted from the chat, if there's trolls, we don't really see that here. So it's really just a moderator. It's a moderator. Blue is moderator, green is member. And at this time, I don't have, this channel is not monetized. So I guess I'll bring that up too. If you would like to support this channel and contribute it in a monetary way, you are more than welcome to do so. And here is that information. Also, if you are in the bushes right now, you are not active in this chat. If you could make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit your notifications, so you'll be notified every time I go live, post another video, do a premiere. But if you would like to contribute to this channel, it is $Bougie Gang. And also on all of my information is on my about page, but I appreciate it. Likes are definitely very much appreciated. So the main thing is, if you would subscribe to this channel and set your notifications, that's doing a lot already. So again, and I do want to thank a couple of people. In the last couple of days, I've gotten some cash apps from some folks, and I want to thank you guys for investing and supporting and appreciating and tipping the host. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, yesterday I did a reaction. I just want to answer to some of the comments too. Specifically, I had a comment, and I'm paraphrasing. So yesterday I did a reaction to phone calls from prison. And on my other channel, Love Lies and Lace Fronts, I'm making no excuses at all. Yesterday, we did a reaction to a video. If you're not familiar with phone calls from prison, you should be if you're listening to these calls. They've been on this channel, and I have an interview with them. And if you go check out my Ernest and Shirley playlist, that interview is there. But we were having a good time, and that's what I do over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts. I mean, it's definitely a little less serious than over here. I feel, people want to have more of like a grown folks conversation and be a little bit more serious. So we do that over here. Of course, we still have some laughs. We have a good time and have some fun. But definitely Love Lies and Lace Fronts. We get loose over there and act very much silly. Okay. That being said, I was doing a reaction yesterday, and I'm sorry, Ernesto is not a known person to have disabilities, intellectual or physical. Ernesto, I think, is a guy who got through school. I don't know how far he went in school. He may be a high school graduate. I do not know. But sir, I think, got around a little bit more on his looks than he did for studying and passing tests. And I had a comment yesterday that basically was they were kind of a little upset with me because they felt that I was making fun of someone with intellectual disabilities. And at the end of the day, I don't know what diagnosis that Ernesto has, but I'm sorry. He's one of these guys who has gotten by um, with a well-groomed beard, with his hair cut, and his clothes fitting a certain type of way. Because if he were not, I don't think that he would have been in Shirley's company. This man is very much fixated on look and image and style and clothes and cars and all of the things. This man, if he was diagnosed with an intellectual disability, that is not something that I'm aware of. But at the end of the day, I am unapologetic in my commentary about Ernesto yesterday because Ernesto is a complete fool out here and he was out here doing the most. He was taking advantage of women. This man has been accused of rape. He has been they have found child pornography in his computer. He has been accused of trafficking. He has been accused of stealing people's money. And I am so sorry, but most of the people, and I'm making a generalization here, the people out here that are living with disabilities, be it intellectual and physical, I don't know, are making careers in crime. Maybe some are, I don't know. But this man, I'm not vouching for that. So as far as is him being intellectually slow, if he doesn't have a diagnosis, I'm not making fun of people with disabilities. At the end of the day, sir is a complete ass and has been a complete fool out here to the world, and he has ruined this woman's life to a certain degree, at least from my view on the outside. A woman who's 69 years old, who has taken time to look good, keep her body tight, buy nice clothes, keep her name good, work, be very successful and known in her industry, for this woman to not have money to buy a pair of shoes, for this woman to have to be going to live in a back bedroom, for this woman to be in the situation that she is at this moment, this guy is he's awful. If this was your mom or this was your auntie or this was your sister, you would be pissed. So Ernesto getting the business on the internet and people making fun of him because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He can't formulate a sentence. His vocabulary is suspect, and he looks one way, and when he opens his mouth, it's a whole nother situation. I'm sorry, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a sorry, not sorry. Okay. That's a sorry, not sorry. And never, ever have I engage in that type of, we don't make fun of people with disabilities. Okay, there are people out here who just, like, I don't know if they're playing for the internet, they're trying to play sympathy cards with people on the internet, they're trying to get donations, maybe they're just playing a character type. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was interesting. At the end of the day, I did answer the person back, and I just said, as far as I know, sir has not been diagnosed with anything other than a convicted felon and someone who has been accused of heinous crimes. Other than that, girl, he's gonna get the business on this internet, because I am quite sure that anything I said was probably very, very tame and lame compared to what other people have said. He has gotten cussed out here on this internet, and somebody needs to do it. Okay. Because we know Shirley ain't going to do it. Everything is okay. I'm okay, guys. We are taking appropriate legal actions. And the divorce proceedings, it's like, Shirley, forget the divorce proceedings. You need an annulment, sis. Your marriage doesn't exist to get a divorce. Um, Love Lies and Lace Run, to put it simply, the law in Georgia requires proof of termination of the current marriage, such as divorce papers, before getting approved for a new one. So I wonder, India, to your point, again, back to systems not talking to each other. I wonder if on his original marriage license, if he even copped to an original marriage. Okay. Because if you check off no, then you would skip. You know how, like, you're filling out an official document and it says, okay, check this or check that. And if you check this, you have to answer the 5 questions or whatever questions. And then if it's no, it'll say skip to next section, right? So I wonder if he may not have even copped to that, if that was just a whole lie. Shirley clearly knows the man, I think, has 6 children. Does was there We don't know. We don't know. But yesterday I wasn't able to print it out, but I did get online and I did fill out the document to request his the marriage record. So we shall see. Girl, I gotta go because you have to pay a money order. So I have to go and get my little $10 money order or cashier check and mail off my application and see if I can get a copy of their marriage certificate because I would like to know. That's what I would like to know. So $10. Yeah, I'll pay $10. So yeah. When I get that, I'll let y'all know. Maybe someone has already requested it on the YouTube streets. Um, but yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm here in North Carolina. I think you can pull them up. I'm not sure. I know they have a database that you can just like see if people are married and you can see the wedding date. I have not been able to find that in Fulton County, but I know in Mecklenburg County, you can look up certain things. You just have to have the names. He more than likely got that um DX in prison. I can't see him going to the doctor. Oh, you think I don't know that. Let's not even start, like, I don't know that he has a diagnosis at all. This person felt that I was being cruel to people with intellectual disabilities because maybe she feels like he has one. I don't know. That's not part of the information that I have. And I would not take Love Lies and Lace Fronts or even this channel seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously we're having serious conversations. Obviously we're looking at factual information, but if people are ultra sensitive, I may say something that could offend someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone, but at the end of the day, um it just is, you know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, that's, I just mentioned it because, but I don't know that he has a diagnosis. I think he's one of these guys who got by having nice teeth, a straight nose, um, even complexion, probably some curly hair, and running around. He's a man with 6 kids. Men with 6 kids, yeah. Look, even a man with no kids could have been running around putting his thing in everything. But a man with 6 kids and a whole bunch of baby mamas, yeah, he's certified. Um, and he's also being accused of some sexually perverted things. So I don't know what this man is capable of, and I don't know what what, if any, diagnosis is he may have. And don't I'm just going to be 100%, I don't care. um I think that he does display narcissism, and narcissistic qualities, but that's something that Shirley has to deal with. We're just on the outside looking in, and we're reacting to these calls and these videos at a time where I don't think that they did not realize that this was going to happen. Um, it does not excuse his behavior, but I don't. Let's just not even muddy the water with a disability because we don't know that he has one. There was someone in their feelings and felt like they wanted to check me about fun of people too. And Ernesto deserves to get the business right. Having now having YouTube channels and leading conversations, there are people who just want to drop a comment. Some people just feel a way. It triggered some, and they want to get their feelings out by typing something because it never fails. Like, for instance, when I dropped one of my the first call here, I had a musical bed underneath it and it was not loud. But there are people who want to be highly focused on the words. They don't want music. And same video, about 20 people commented the same thing. And I realized, you know what? It doesn't make sense for me to answer the same question 20 times because by the 15th time, someone who commented that the music was too loud or that they didn't like it saw the comment, that someone already commented this and numerous people have commented, but there's just a few people out here that just want to get their lick in, right? So I feel like somebody was offended. Maybe Ernesto reminds them of someone. I don't know, but they were clearly triggered and just wanted to get their thought out, and that's fine. And they did, and that's it. But Ernesto is what we do know. Let's talk about what we do know, that Ernesto is a convicted felon. He has been in jail for over 400 days. I don't want to give the exact date, the exact amount of dates, because girl, well, you know what? I will, because guess what? This is a bougie gang thing over here, and we're going to do what we do. Ernesto has been in jail. Guys, hold on, okay? And if this is getting ready to bother you, it's going to be okay. Ernesto, okay, July 5th, 2022, girl, it's been 1 year, 2 months, 16 days, which equals 443 days. It was on a Tuesday, and it was the 27th week of 2022. That's when Sir got arrested and booked into Fulton County and eventually over to Cobb County. And I don't think he's been in Cobb County a year yet, but it's coming up on a year. Yeah, I don't have that pulled up, so we'll talk about that later. But he's been in Cobb County, I think it's coming up on 306. Like next week, he'll be in Cobb County a whole year. Okay. We do not make fun of any physical disabilities, nor do we as moderators allow those comments. Absolutely. But we will have some fun with a clown who is dragging his wife and doing the most out here, and now sitting in jail for however many days. And yeah, Sir is one of these smooth talking guys who has gotten by on his looks and schmoozing women and using women. And the fact that he can't pronounce words correctly, or he uses the wrong vocabulary, does not put him in the status of a disability, other than the fact that he probably wasn't paying attention in school. And if he has one, that's his business. That's not part of the content. We don't know that to be true. So we're not going to make up anything. We're just going with what is. And Sir sounds stupid. Okay. He just does. Okay. That might sound mean, but I think it's mean for him to possess illegal contraband in his computer, depicting minors in ways that are absolutely unthinkable, and also for them to be holding him and charging him with rape and child pornography. So I'm sorry, not sorry. He's about the worst. This is a grown conversation. Some people can't handle hearing it. Call it call it what you call it. The bottom line is, I've had deeper level conversations with a 4-year-old than I've heard with Shirley and this fool. Okay. There are some people who just are not smart, and that doesn't make them disabled. There's some people who really just don't care. There's people who don't want to read. There's people that never had any interest in school. They want all of the everything that comes from having a good education and taking pride in investing in yourself and developing your brain power. And he may have just wanted to be on the football field. I don't know. You know what I mean? Not that's girl. One day when Ernesto does an interview, we'll find out. Ernesto have too much going on to say Ernesto has difficult problem. Is there an audio issue? Not that I know of. You guys can't hear me? Am I going in and out? Girl, money order. Yes, when you can't write a check, I'm sure for obvious reasons. So they want when I paid for the call logs for the calls and call log, you have to send a cashier's check or a money order. You have to mail it. You cannot pay it online. How many baby? I don't know. I don't know for sure. Um, he's a certified player, can pimp straight up donkey of the day. I'm so tired of hearing people classified as, you know what? I'm not quick to use that, but he definitely is. I mean, there could be other terminology to use for his behavior. So we don't want to overuse it, but it applies. I think that it is well overused on this internet, most definitely on YouTube, but it does apply though, Max. It really does. It does. Because when he was talking about wanting to be a superhero, he's got like superhero complex, and that's one of the attributes of a narcissist. He wants to be in a movie, which okay, that goes it goes beyond wanting to be an actor. He wants to be known. Like when he found out, like when he, like they say, he was with this woman, Ebony Steele. He's been with many women, right? I think that he has played the hypergamy game, right? He is elevating, 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 trying to find a bigger, bigger, bigger fish. And even though Shirley wasn't coming with deep pockets, Shirley probably had a little bit of coin. She had a home when she met him, that she had her own home that she purchased. They ended up selling the house below market. It seemed like it was they sold it. I don't know exactly who she sold it to, but they said she sold it to one of these companies that basically fixed up her house and flipped it and sold it far more than she purchased it for. So I can't say the house was in disrepair, but maybe she hadn't done updates, maybe the kitchen wasn't all that. Who knows? But they she did kind of like a quick sale of her home, and then when she moved with Ernesto, and they came to Atlanta and all of the things, the lifestyle increased and the type of homes and all of these, the lifestyle started to elevate. So maybe she was living within her means or below her means and was able to buy her designer and her beautiful shoes and all of those things and not be a problem. But when she got with him and they're paying for rental properties at current market rate, that was over and above what really was doable. I'm assuming mostly for her budget, because if he was really making money like that, where's the money, right? Um, okay, let's keep going. Right, they just okay. Right, they may know someone like him. Yeah, I think obviously, look, at the end of the day, some comments I have to just read with a grain of salt, because I know people are just want to express themselves, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't sometimes, like, if I just give you a heart, that means I read your comment. If I haven't given you a heart yet, it just means I haven't read it, and I really do try to read every single comment. I may not respond to everything because everything doesn't need a response. Some people just want to get their thought and opinion out. They're not waiting for a response from me. Sometimes I do respond. Sometimes my response is just a heart. So here in my world, I saw your comment. Okay. Um, you agree with Slow Nesto tag? He's willing and unaware. Yeah, I guess sis was offended, and take no offense. It wasn't meant to those who are intellectually challenged, period. Thank you so much, Rhonda. I appreciate that, sis. Let me see. Are you guys, let's see, because we have over 600, and I hope everyone's hitting the like button. Gosh, guys, we're below 50%. Hopefully, so we're at 662 live at the moment. It would be so nice if we could get to 50%. So guys, go ahead and hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and elevate the energy, because the more you hit on that like button, the more people will fall in here, because YouTube is like, oh, someone's live, everybody's liking it. Let's go ahead. Let's recommend this to more people. All of the things. That's how it works. He's very lucky to be in Cobb and not Fulton. Yeah, he started out in Fulton and ended up in Cobb. Oh, let me see if I can find this comment real quick, guys. There was someone dropping some tea in the comments yesterday, and I can't remember where. Let me find it. Hold on. Sis was like, I was like, ma'am, like, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So, let me see. Uh, okay. Somebody was talking about that someone else is never mentioned. Let me see. When I find it, I'll pull it up. Girl, people are definitely responding to Shirley, thinking that people are jealous. If you watched kind of the 10-minute excerpt drop last night, make sure to go over to my channel, to Love Lies and Lace Fronts, and check out the complete video. That was yesterday morning. You guys definitely showed up to watch the 10-minute drop, but definitely go and check out the whole entire video. We had a fun time yesterday on live. This guy is a monster. To have child pornography in his possession. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Let me see if I can find this comment. When I find it, I will share my screen. I'm running through my comments right now. Did I tag it? Sometimes I will try to pin, but I can only pin one comment at a time. So that's what sucks. But yeah, for Shirley to say that people are jealous, she's delusional. Okay. All right. Um of course I'm going to find it like as soon as we hang up. Was that from yesterday? Um I think I did respond to it. Let's do it like that. Because the person was saying like they never hear anyone talk about and say a particular person's name, and I was like, I don't even know who that person is, so I can't respond. You know what I mean? I can't research something I didn't know anything about, but um apparently Ernesto, he never said he didn't know her when Shirley asked and played like she didn't know her. Okay. Um we're gonna have to just do a whole addressing the comments because there are a lot of good comments. There are people who have dropped a little bit of tea in the comments, just kind of like just some people, I even saw something. Some of you guys may know about this on the YouTube streets. There is a person that we know, anyone from my other channel, and I feel like she was talking about Ernesto. I could be wrong. But Hazel, any of you guys who know, dropped a community post talking about, remember a story time? I think I told you guys I was going to do a story time about an older guy who tried to talk to me, like a guy from Atlanta with a prominent wife. Karma is a bitch or something like that. I don't know if you guys saw that, and I don't know if it's still up, but I caught it and saw it. But this is a beautiful woman who is on YouTube. Who's got a kind of a cosmetics body butter business, and all the other details are not necessary, but she put up a community post and I'm like, is she low key talking about Ernesto? So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, people are dropping tea. And I think there have been people who have had experiences and encounters with Mr. Ernesto just in passing or know of him. And sir is definitely, people have stories to tell. When I find that comment, I'll let you guys know. I'm scrolling through now, but I don't want to waste too much time trying to find it and then can't find it. So just bear with me. When I come back over here, we will do a addressing the comments on the comments over here, good, bad, indifferent, trying to hold your girl accountable. I just read a comment. Someone said my commentary is boring, and that's fine. There's probably 100 people at this moment doing commentary on this topic. And that's the great thing about YouTube if my commentary is not for you, move around. Okay. I'm not going to be offended. But again, there are just some people out here. I don't even take it seriously because there are some people out here who want to just get their lick in. Okay, they just want to. Some people want to get their lick back because they're triggered, and some people just want to get their lick in. Okay, they just want to be in the comments, and instead of just not saying anything, they got to say something. So you know what I'm saying? Like by the time you get to be on YouTube for as long as I've been on YouTube at this moment, sis, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like people could say something nasty and it's not going to bother me. It's not going to stop me from hitting the go live button. That's what I know. We as women have an intuition. Where is Shirley's intuition? Because I find it hard to believe that there were no red flags dating Ernesto. She might be a red flag type sis. You know what I mean? She might run to red flags where other people are running away. Keep in mind, JJ, there are people out here who run to things. They don't run from danger, they run to danger. Some people like to be dangerously in love. Some people like that Bonnie and Clyde. Some people like a little bit of danger. Some people, all they needed to know was that Sir was in penitentiary previously. Even though, you know, men are very deliberate in who they date. A man might say, you know what, you got 3 kids, I'm not interested. You have a child, I'm not interested, right? Men have very specific boundaries and they usually stick with them. Some women, I'm not going to say all, but some have very much kind of like, okay, nice to haves, but they're not must haves. A lot, you'll see the difference between men and women when they make a decision about what they want in a relationship. They will date you, they will screw you, they may even add a baby to your family. But you have 2 kids, they are not going to marry you. You see what I'm saying? If a man says, I don't want to marry a woman with kids, but he will bed you down, he will give you kids, he'll run you all around the bedroom. He may even take you to Tulum. Okay. But if he said what he's not going to do, he said what he said, and that's what's going to happen. Okay. Shirley might be the type, you know, I've been praying and God answered my prayers. And I think that this is, you know, you have to know that you know. It's not that I think, or maybe God know that you know. And I'm sure in her heart of hearts, she has to know what she knows. And I know that people are saying in the comments, this could be a blessing. This could be, it is. At the end of the day, you want peace, you want clarity, you want final resolution. This is peace, this is clarity, this is final resolution. At the end of the day, the truth will always come out and the truth will set you free. Okay. And this is some information that literally sets her free. This is not a blessing in disguise. This is a blessing. This woman has put so much coin out on this man. The fact all she may have to do is just file for an annulment and to really just go on her little PR tour and separate herself legally from this man in a very permanent way and just accept the blessing it is that actually are not you thought you were, but the whole time you were protected, you were under the veil, the cover of protection. You weren't even really married to him. Yes, it's embarrassing, but thank God I because all on a screen and all of these people that you would potentially be responsible to as his wife, as someone who has joint income with this man, she could be of Ernesto come back too. And the fact that she is not married to him made her, I'm sure, not responsible, far less responsible, and a victim. She unknowingly is a victim, even though she signed it and she's a victim. Sis, you're a victim. It was a complete fraud and sham of a marriage because the divorces were never completed on numerous occasions, and he was not in a position to marry you. So that's a blessing to me. It's not even could be a blessing. It's not a blessing in disguise. It's just a good old fashioned thank you, Jesus. Okay. To me. Okay. And at this point, if it can save you a dollar, girl, save your dollar. He doesn't, I mean, he doesn't look, he's not getting my grace. Okay. It's one of those by the grace of God. Okay. He can have that. But I'm not, you know what I mean? He's where he's at because that's where he deserves to be. He put himself there, right? Maybe when the movie comes out starring Denzel, he'll know the truth. Okay. Um, I suspect it's more wives out there, men like him, do what the situation calls for to get the target's assets. Absolutely. You were going in and out. Oh, I was? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Is it better now? Oh, you know what? The mic might have been popping because the dogs were barking, and this type of microphone, it's I is it eh, it's not a dynamic, but it's one of these mics that searches for sound, and if there's a sound that's louder than the sound of my voice, it's going to search out that. So it could have been, maybe was it when the dogs were barking? Yes, you were going in and out. But you are not now. Yeah, the dogs are quiet. They have finally they ate. They did everything they needed to do. Now they're chilling. The sound was static and fading in and out when you were speaking a few minutes ago. Seems to be clear now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He's a reflection of Shirley. She settled for an arrogant man like this. Sheer desperation. I couldn't take him for 5 minutes. Absolutely. I think that she wanted a good looking sidearm. The man is 11 years or 10 years younger than her. She clearly, you know what I mean? Like you could tell they have some sort of chemistry. She likes, like, do you guys remember when Vivica Fox was with 50 Cent? I mean, how can we forget, right? She was with 50 Cent. She said she likes a little pimp in her step. Okay. That's what she liked about 50 Cent, that he had pimp in his step. Okay. Do you guys remember her saying that? I never forgot that. Sis was hot for 50 Cent. That's why she's still talking about 50 Cent, damn, 20 years later. Sis, I think low key, 50 Cent still likes her talking about him. It's like the relationship that will never end. She's like the older version of Taylor Swift, how Taylor Swift loves to write songs and sing about her ex boyfriends and all of those things. That's what's going on. And I think that Shirley, I'm going to use Vivica Fox. She likes a little pimp in her step. I think she likes a dude with a little bit of danger. She likes a little bit of Bonnie and Clyde. She likes a little bit of Us Against the World. She likes a little bit of not her business. She likes a guy who got his business off to the side and she doesn't have to know anything about it. And I mean, shouts out to anybody from Chicago. Take this how you want. I think she's from the Chicago area. She might like a little bit of like a gangster type boo. She wants someone who runs his business and tells her to be ready at 7 o'clock, and he's got everything taken care of. And then he's got his little Nesto security. She probably felt like she was damn Hillary Clinton or something. Remember, Shirley is of a certain age, and she was enjoying it. She was enjoying everything that he was giving. As a woman, we have to set standards and have a line where we will not cross. Maybe her line was, you know what I mean? Her her line could have been physical. We don't know that he ever talked to her a certain type of way. We never hear him get really loud with her. Obviously, they're on a phone call, but he doesn't ever really get belligerent to a certain degree. He's always kind of low key co-signing. Um, Hello, Tanya Lafleur. I love your name. I believe that when he was with Ebony Steele, she was still co-host at Ricky Smiley morning show. So Ernesto seemed to be looking for a woman he can make a come up with or be attached to a certain group. Look, there's the aspects of being high value. We've talked about this many times. And of course, you can hear this in the Manosphere and Kevin Samuels and all of the things. It's number one, net worth. Okay. Money gets you in the door. The network also gets you. You could be broke as a joke, but if you're in the fraternity, you're in the sorority, you're in the club, you smoke a certain cigar, you drive the Porsche. You know what I mean? If you drive the Porsche, you're in the Porsche club. If you drive the Porsche, you're in the exotic, depending on the level. If you drive, you know what I mean? Like it can open many doors. Not just it's about having a Porsche, but my point is that the network, okay? The people that meet up on Saturdays and go drive around the loops around town, the car clubs, the car enthusiasts, the foreigns, the people who love foreign cars, the people that meet up at the dealership, the women of the men, the women who drive supercars, all of those things, right? He want the net worth, the network, the resources. Even if you have the network, someone that has the resources, the phone numbers, the invitations. You get invited to the balls, you get invited to the soirees, you get invited to the invest fest. You are speaking, you are coordinating, you are plugged in, you work with, you have all those things, right? So you have the resources, you have the network, you have the net worth, um and you also have a certain look. Okay. You have the presentation. You don't have to be the most beautiful. You don't have to be the most handsome, but you got to be clean. You got to be sharp. You got to wear the right clothes. It doesn't even have to be designer, but you have to look put together. You have to look on point. People trust, respect people that show up a certain way. You don't even have to be fit. You have to show up looking the part. You have to make people think and feel something about you, that you care about yourself, and that you have a certain value. Okay? And we're not talking morality and values. We're talking value as in obviously assets. I think that Ernesto definitely was sitting out here in the manosphere learning as much as he possibly could on how to network into certain circles and certain types of women, because he already knew that he was lacking, that he was going to be of service. This man had a grooming and barbershop business. So you're never going to be in the inner circle. He is servicing the elite of Atlanta. Okay. So he had a higher end establishment, but he's still, just like Shirley said, Shirley put herself in the class of the help, right? Ernesto is a service person. He provided a high-end service to those who needed, the 24-hour barbershop, the men's grooming business. Okay. So he wanted to be in that circle. All right. And he found himself a woman. The highest that I think that he could get was someone who works with a high profile person that made her somewhat high profile herself, right? But yeah, he's hitting on targets. What about Charleston White allegations? Ernesto put all types of business and charities in his name. Really? So I didn't know the details. I know Charleston White said that he was scammed by this guy. But as far as what the scam consisted of, I don't have those details. I'm going to be just super honest. I don't have those details, but I can look into that. Or if anyone knows link to where Charleston about it, I would love to hear more about it. I just see a video where Charleston said, "Yeah, they got that guy. He cost me over $1 million, things like that." But I don't know. I don't know the reasons why narcissism is being overused is because it was never used, and now that there is a word to describe this toxic behavior, it is what it is. And 78% of narcissistic cases are men. Oh, thank you, Scorpion. I appreciate that. The other wife, CL. Okay, I saw something about in it's in a comment, and I believe the initials were CL. I just have to find it because you guys have been commenting like crazy. So there's a lot of comments, but maybe there's another wife or another woman that he was pretending to be wifey. Y'all, this man was out here doing the most. And that's one thing that I think everybody can agree on. Why do women choose men beneath their intellect? I think for a long time. So there's a couple of reasons. One thing is Shirley might be very good at code switching. Now, if she were code switching, we would have heard the code switch in the phone calls. But one thing that we do hear that we don't hear Shirley talk a lot about is that Shirley does have some very definite opinions about you're a black man and they're picking on you. She very much is kind of using the, I'm going to say stereotypical, you're a black man in a Rolls Royce. Um, your husband is running like shell business. He's being accused of running. Um, so he's a black man in a Rolls Royce who is being investigated for running shell businesses and who is very vocal on the internet about building teams and collecting investors. And then on the flip side of that, he's got customers who are saying that you're not coming through with the goods and services that you say that you're providing or what I invested in. That's not the police harassing a man in a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? So there's just some things about Shirley that maybe we just don't know from just the strawberry letter, because it's very easy to say that he's being harassed because he's a black man, but this black man took money from people and promised them goods and services. And there are people out here that says that he did not make good on that. So that would fly if that was true. But what we know is that people were filing police reports and complaining and all kinds of things, that there's a man out here, be it black, white, whatever, who is collecting coins and not delivering on the goods. Okay, that's what happened. It didn't necessarily have to do with anything being black, because sis, you're in a whole chocolate city. When you're in a city where the mayor's black, I don't know that about Atlanta, but I live here in Charlotte where the mayor's black. We've had numerous black mayors. We had a black governor. We've had Have we had a black governor? Let me retract that. We, at least in Charlotte, our local government is definitely chocolate. Police chief, sheriff, mayor, city council, all of the things. Okay. At the end of the day, I feel like Harvey B. Grant maybe was the first black mayor of Charlotte. I don't know that he was governor. Um Harvey B. Gant. Was he governor? Anyway, okay. He was the first black mayor of Charlotte. Anyway, Atlanta is a very similar profile city. And at the end of the day, when you're in a city like Atlanta, I mean, I know that the powers that be are the powers that be, but at the end of the day, I think if you're out here living foul, it's going to surface. It's going to surface. Thank you, Arlene. I said that I was talking way too fast. My thoughts were ahead of me, but at the end of the day, Harvey B. Gantt, I believe, was the first black mayor of Charlotte. But anyway, I think that you're living foul. And I don't know that, and maybe that put him a little bit more on the radar. I don't know. But Shirley says a lot of things that surprised me, like people being jealous of her. I found that quite interesting. That she feels like her friend group were women who were jealous of her because she's married to Ernesto. She's going to have to eat those words, because you are saying that people were jealous of you. These calls are now public and these people know how you really feel. And at the end of the day, the way that this man has dragged you, even though he didn't physically drag you, he dragged you. Okay. He dragged you, and there's nothing that you can do. Like the whole argument about people are jealous, that's ridiculous. So why do women go below their intellect? I don't know. She could have been desperate, thirsty. She was making concessions like, okay, I'm 60 years old at the time whenever she met him. I'm 59, 60. Now she's what? She's 69 now. So 10 years ago at 59, and he was getting ready to be 50. Maybe she just felt like this is what it is. And maybe he's nice. I mean, look at Jennifer Williams and her boyfriend, this guy, Chris Gold, her fiance. This guy spent time in New Jersey penitentiary for damn kidnapping. Okay? Kidnapping. Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives. This woman was with damn Tim Norman, who murdered his own nephew. Okay? Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives. Why? Why was she with Tim Norman? Because Tim Norman had a couple of coins. Tim Norman had a couple of coins. His mother had some restaurants, and he liked designer, and he probably liked showering her with gifts. And because she had a name, and it got him out the restaurant business and got him over there at like around Shawnee O'Neal and all of the other women of the Basketball Wives. Maybe he felt like, you know what, this is a come up for me. Okay. This is a little bit of a come up. You know, that's how Tim Norman felt with Jennifer. Okay. So just as much as she might be using him for a couple little coins, he's using her to get his foot in the door with someone who's got a name. That's how it works. So Shirley dealing with Nesto may have had a few little things. Nesto, obviously, he might have been raised up in church a little bit, so he knows a little bit of Bible. And we see that that's something that Shirley is very much interested in. So he can talk a little bit. He's got a little bit of word. So he can drop a little bit of word. And Shirley, you know, that got Shirley interested. Shirley hears him saying, "To much forgiven, much required," rather than "to whom much is given, much is required." So if you heard like the day before yesterday on Phone Calls from Prison, girl, he messed that whole thing up. And she's into it. That's her boo. That is her boo. Okay. No black governor yet. That was my bad. I misspoke, y'all. Okay. But I guarantee you I'm going to get 20 comments down in the comment section. Okay. I got it. I think I immediately corrected myself, but that was my bad, guys. You know, once you say it, it's over, right? Anyway, this is my point. Why do women date below their intellect? Thirsty, they're lonely, they want somebody. He might be a good time. He looks nice in a suit. He might have smelled good. And I'm going to be honest, sexually, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but girl, sexually, he may have been able to do some things and hit on some things that hadn't been done and hit on for a minute. And sis enjoyed it. Okay. So it didn't even, it was less about intellect, but more so she enjoyed his company. She enjoyed, you know, she's enjoying him, right? So it was not even like he's a smart guy. He went to Harvard Business School, or he went to Wharton, or anything like that, or he's got an MBA. No, he's a self-made man who probably has on whatever good cologne that Kevin Samuels recommended. He's over there in Phipps getting his suits tailored, and he's showing up in Rolls Royces, and he's sending cars to go pick her up, and all of the things. He's schmoozing her. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. I'm sorry, friends commentary. Oh, thank you, Amaya. Thank you. Some people think Shirley is playing slow. I think that Shirley is being very particular about what she's saying, and she is trying to make sure that she doesn't drop herself down a black hole. Now, how long has she known she wasn't married? That's what I would like to know. I would like to know how you're getting a divorce and sis, you're not married. I would like to know that if you called a lawyer, let's just say even 2 weeks ago, and you told them that this man's been married before, and the paralegal pulled the paperwork just like the lawyer Pam did, Pam Esquire, pulled, why you would tell the people 2 weeks ago, if divorce proceedings are underway, why your lawyer hasn't notified you yet, sis, divorce is not necessary. We're just going to go ahead and file just so we can give you some documents so you can show where this man has dragged your name all around town. But we'll go for a fraudulent marriage and annul this whole thing. That way we can cancel the documents that were produced and signed back in 2015 when you applied for a marriage license, because that man was married, sis, which could make her a bigamist too. But she did not knowingly marry a married man. I would assume she unknowingly married a married man. So come to find out that if you are brazen enough to go and marry someone who is already married, you guys go file paperwork with the state and everything. Both of you can be considered bigamists, right? And that's a felony in the state of Georgia. So I'm sure she did not know, because I mean, who would do that? That's crazy. But he had to know. He had to definitely know that he hadn't handled business, right? And I see we're going super long here, guys. I'd planned to go live on Love Lies and Lace Fronts, but we're going to finish up here, and then we're going to go live on Love Lies and Lace Fronts this afternoon. So I felt like I needed to come. I mean, I hadn't been live over here like this in a minute. We went live the night before last, and we kind of did a little bit of a, I guess we did a little bit of a deep dive. We did a deep dive between both channels. But guys, if you're here and you're not subscribed to Love Lies and Lace Friends, it's definitely different commentary. We do reactions, reviews, and commentary, but I'm definitely doing commentary in terms of reactions over there. This channel is not monetized yet. It will be soon. But I'm splitting the content over between here and there, also because it does apply. I feel like we get into these deeper conversations. We go on fact finding missions, do Google searches, do address in the comments, things of that nature. Look at news stories. Over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts, I definitely cut up a lot more and get a lot more silly, and we joke around a lot more. But at the end of the day, you can find me on both, and I so appreciate you guys supporting both channels. There's definitely some good commentary over there on this topic. I did set up a playlist with everything on it, so that makes it a lot easier for those of you who aren't navigating between both channels. But that 10-minute excerpt I put up last night, the full video I think was very good. So go check it out. I know you guys are here, so go ahead and check out the video from last night, and definitely make sure that you subscribe to both. If you enjoy over here, you'll enjoy over there. We definitely do talk like YouTube channels and social media. On my other channel, this is definitely more kind of like celebrity news and things like that. But I'm splitting, you know what I mean? I just go wherever it feels right at that moment, right? The voiceover is everything. Shirley is lonely and infatuated with this clown. I think he was giving grown man chocolate. He probably could, maybe he was taking some blue pills. I don't know. I think he sexed her down real good. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I think my audience is a little bit more mature over here, so I'm not going to get super raunchy with it, because over Love Lies and Lace Fronts, I just say whatever. But at the end of the day, I think he sexed her down, and you know what I'm talking about. He gave her what she needed, and she was enjoying it. If you look at his timeline and you look at the looks between them, surely he gives her some sexy. And there's a picture of her in a very pretty pink, very fitted outfit, and she got her little pink wig on, and they're giving some grown and sexy Us Against the World, Dangerously in Love, Bonnie and Clyde, My Man is a Boss. That's how she's feeling. She's like, that's my man, bitch. That's what she's giving. Because the fact that she has taken on the attitude that people are jealous of this dude, you got to be kidding me. Okay. Um, Shirley was lonely. I don't think she's slow at all. I think she is slow on some Nesto. I think Nesto gave her what she needed, and he can pretty much, she's in. And I think that she's bought into the fact that she thinks that he is being railroaded in the city of Atlanta, and that he seems to be caught up, because I'm like thinking to myself, ma'am, what could be expunged when he still has pending cases? And I mean, the fact that he was convicted of armed robbery, ma'am, I don't even know that can be expunged. Armed robbery is a violent crime. and he is a convicted felon that was in the penitentiary. That is not stuff that gets expunged. You got to be out of your mind. The public needs to, people have criminal records not to drag them. People have criminal records because we need to know who we're dealing with. If you have a establishment and you want someone running your register, I don't know that you're going to invite a armed robber to handle that position, right? Rose Armstead, thank you. I just subscribed. I've been looking for your commentaries for a couple of days. I like it. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Um, Erica's education should be verified. Conning is a game and art. Some are better at it than others. Some people have been living the con for so long, they don't even know who the real person is. But Erica is allegedly a college graduate. Somebody better call that university and verify it. So I heard that she was some sort of like pastor or preach, and look, she very well might be, okay? But I heard that she was delivering on the word of God in Atlanta. I'm not sure if she was kind of traveling from church to church like as an evangelist, or she had her own church, but sis has been into many, 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 many different businesses. And at the end of the day, um I don't know what's up with that. You're sub to both. Thank you. Sislo Networthy update. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, and I appreciate y'all hitting on that like button. We are right under 50%, which is really nice. Thank you so much. If you have not hit the like button yet and you feel compelled to do so, go ahead. Also, I'm just gonna drop my let me just drop my banner just in so definitely like, comment, and subscribe. And if it falls up on you that you would like to contribute or support or tip your hostess, it's $ bougie gang. Okay. That's what it is. And that's the Cash App. I do have PayPal too. I need to put that up, but you could Cash App $bougie gang also. I mean, excuse me, PayPal. Um Let's see. Where are we? Okay. Okay, what's next? I'm just going through all of these comments, guys, and we'll do like an official address in the comments. Uh-oh, I lost my place. So if I skip your comment, my bad, sis. Because I lost my spot. I'm just going to pick up somewhere. No black governor yet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But we had the first black mayor. That was Harvey B. Gantt. I was thinking Harvey B. Gantt. And he ran for governor, but he did not win. That was like somewhere in the late 90s. He ran for governor, but he did not win. So let me put that footnote. He was first black mayor. If you ever make it to Charlotte, there is the African American Museum, and it's the Harvey B. Gantt. So it's named after him, and he, like I said, he ran for governor, but unfortunately was not successful. I tip my hat to women that get with extremely unattractive men with money. I could not do it. Okay. I'm weak. The weak recognizes weak. Absolutely. And you know what? Let's just be truthful here. There are some women who really do want to be single, but they don't want to be single alone. So they deal with men who are very busy. They deal with men who are very much players and dishonest, because at the end of the day, all they really just want to be single. They just want to get some sex, or they want a date on Friday night. They don't want to sleep alone. There's many reasons why women sell out their singlehood and don't wait for a really good prospect. They just kind of take whatever the first thing is coming. There's, like I said, sex, loneliness, they look good, many different reasons. But at the end of the day, they really wanted to be single. I think there's such a stigma around being single. Yes, it's really wonderful to have a great husband and have an awesome companion, but you could be in a relationship and feel very much alone. Okay. But there are people out here that is not necessarily not what they want. You know what I mean? that's not far from what they actually do want anyway, because they allow someone in their life who's never home. They allow someone in their life who's a chronic cheater. They allow someone who's really not dealing with them that way. So really, what did you really have? Okay. So Shirley may have been dealing with this guy just on some, it's better than nothing. We don't know. I think that she did like a little pimp in his step. I think she enjoyed that. Like what I said, the Vivica Fox, when she talked about 50 Cent, she said that he had some pimp in his step, or he put some pimp in her step. Like he made her feel a way. He gave her a certain type of energy that sis has been talking about this man for damn 20 years. Okay. He has no conversation. I couldn't get past that. I don't care. They never talk about, babe, I miss you. I can't wait for you to come home. It's so lonely out here. I went to the movies. I took a walk. I was thinking about you. There's never any kind of connection, relationship connection, value talk with these two. It's always very much Shirley dealing with another damn problem, and then Ernesto literally getting, I haven't played that call yet, and I've been meaning to. So the day, let me tell you guys this story. Okay, so on, let me get my notes because I've been meaning to. It does take time to edit this stuff, because you got to edit out all the bullshit that your call is being connected to. You've just got a call from Ernesto. It takes a couple of minutes. Okay, so you got to get all that out. Then you got to listen to the call and make sure someone's not saying something they shouldn't be saying, or something that could, give someone's information, because that can happen, and nobody's perfect. And at the end of the day, so you have to do so many different things. But okay, on the day that, let me tell you, so November 1st, Ernesto is up early in the morning, and he is calling Sonia. Okay, so he and Sonia do two calls back to back. All right. Then the next call is Shirley, and Shirley is talking about, I'm going to go get my hair done. So we know Shirley went to get her hair done, and her car, I've already got it somewhat edited, so I should put that out today. If you guys want to hear the full extended version of my car just got confiscated, because that call is actually like about 30 some minutes, but there's the call before it. So the call that Phone Calls from Prison put out the other day, when Sonia was talking about talking to the clerk of court's office, and it could take 4 years, that was on the same day. And I heard Phone Calls from Prison mention that was the same day that Shirley's car got confiscated. But her, and I wrote down my notes, because that day Ernesto probably had like damn 13 phone calls. Okay, he talked to all day. He talked to damn Sonia like damn 7, maybe 8. It could have been 9 times to be. I wrote everything down. I have my notes, because that, I was like, damn. But I didn't want to overkill with the same day. And I really hadn't had a chance to talk to you guys like this. But I did put out the calls on the day that her car got confiscated. And I planned to kind of put it out in a series, but I didn't do that. And maybe I will. But anyway, so there were the first 2 calls to Sonia, right? And you guys have heard those. The next call is Shirley saying she's going to go get her hair done. Right after Shirley gets off the phone, what does he do? He calls damn Sonia again. Okay. So then a little while goes by, and then he's talking to damn Sonia all day. The next call from Shirley is, I got my car got seized. Okay. All right. And then there's that whole call. And that call is actually, the uncut version of that is probably about 30 minutes. I think when Phone Calls from Prison put it out, they definitely did edit it down some, because they're they say sometimes this is just an extra drop, or this is part of the series of the story. And then also, I guess maybe just figuring out the appetite of the audience to want to listen to a call that long. But if I know you guys are pretty much here for that, so I will put that out later, because I do have it edited. For the most part, I'm not quite done with it yet, but I can put that out if you guys want it. If you guys get this to, like, let's say 600 likes, there's 868 of you here before the night is over. I mean, I think 200 more likes is definitely doable. You guys can't hear me. Let her tape love on the car being seen. Let her. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Shannon. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Everyone say hi to someone in the chat. Because I can't say hi to everybody as they're coming in. But if you guys take a minute, you guys are all talking to each other. If someone new comes in, just wish them a happy and good morning. And let's hear the tape. Okay. Okay. I will put that out today. Okay. Because I basically have it almost done, but like I said, I didn't want to kind of like overkill the situation. Not to mention, people in the comments were like, "Can we hear something from 2023?" Okay, so I do have. So okay, I'm working on it. It's just, doing these lives and then also editing and then mommy life, wife life, all of the things that I do. Just bear with me, but it's coming. Okay. But I will get that out next. You guys want me to drop a call? I will drop the day her car got seized from, "Hey babe, I'm going to get my hair done," which she didn't say. That's me talking to my husband. I have a hair appointment this afternoon. That's Shirley. I have a hair appointment and then her calling and saying, "You'll never guess what happened to me. My car got taken," whatever. So we'll do that tonight, okay? And I'll have it on a premiere and you guys can come chat everything, okay? Just run these likes up for me. I so appreciate it. That way when it hits, the call does what it needs to do, okay? But back to that day. The minute that Shirley says that her car got confiscated, who does he call? Damn Sonya. So I will drop that one tomorrow. Okay. I will drop today Shirley going to get her hair done, Shirley calling after getting her hair done. And the minute he hangs up, the missus, he called her the missus and wifey on the phone call. That was the first time I'd heard him call her the missus or wifey. Um, And then he talks to who I think is either his brother or his son. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. He was talking to a specific person, which I think it might be his brother, but I know his brother and his son are very much familiar, obviously, with his wife or his known to be wife. Um, and so is his son, and they were all kind of running game on Shirley. Basically, her basically keeping his secret of not knowing how duplicitous he is, right? Okay, so we're far behind. Let me scroll up and I will read the chat later and anything that pops out, sometimes I will post it on the community wall or address it as a comment. So you guys, if I skipped your comment, my bad. There's no way for me to get caught up. So I'm just going to highlight some so they'll show up in the video. So I'm just clicking on some. If I'm not reading it, you know why. I'm just trying to get caught up and get my brain caught up at the same time. She's very pretty. And it's not just makeup. Even without makeup, I mean, she's holding at 69. She definitely is. She looks damn good. She really does. Body is tight. She's giving all kinds of curves and she looks like she really cares about herself and her presentation. And she's serving. She really is. So I hate that this happened to her. I certainly don't put Shirley on anybody's pedestal, but I hate to hear about a doll out here get served up in such a way and get dragged by her husband. But it's the setback to the comeback, and Shirley could really take this to another direction if she so chooses to. If she decides to not be a victim, then she can even though she certainly has been victimized, if she decides to take the victory route and see the blessing in all of this, that at the end of the day, sis, this whole thing was canceled, okay? Because a way out of no way was that, you know what? This didn't even, I mean, it's just done. You didn't even have to cancel it. You didn't even have to go through a divorce, a messy divorce or anything. Because guess what? It's canceled. Okay. To me, I think that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate, as in What you thought wasn't, and it's done. So I don't know. She seems like the type she's going to be embarrassed and miserable about it. Me personally, girl, I would have been like, girl, can you believe it? Won't he do it? Did he not do that for me? Okay. But Shirley is busy over there trying to pick up her face from telling all of her friends that they were jealous of her. And this black man in the Rolls Royce that she thinks that the city of Atlanta had it in for. No, he was out here doing the most with the city of Atlanta. And people called their friends who called friends who said, can you check out this guy who's out here doing the absolute most and owes me X number of dollars? Okay. That's what happened. You can't be out here taking the good people's money and think that people are not going to call and drop a dime on you. Hey, Darla. Hey, everybody. Hey, EXO. Hey, J Fox. Hey, Rose. Hey, everybody. Driver's seat. What's going on? I think I think that she is being very careful in everything she's saying. I think that at some point recently she found out that she's not married, because for her to say divorce proceedings are in progress, the fact that she said estranged husband, okay, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, for her to say divorce proceedings, I think that when she did the strawberry letter with Steve, I don't think she knew yet. Because if she knew, she would never have said divorce proceedings because, sis, you don't need to get a divorce on what is not a marriage. Okay. I think that if she knows she just found out, and any lawyer that you dropped a check to, if they know that he was married previously, then they should have been doing the same searches that the lawyer Pam did, Pam Esquire. Okay. If my mic is going in and out now, it's probably because the dogs are barking. I don't know if that's making a difference. Let me see if I can hear on my monitor. Y'all may not even be able to hear the dogs because I'm listening a little bit and I don't hear anything. Um, like I said, this mic, I have a Shure mic, and basically it sucks in to the sound that is presenting the closest to the mic. So it's going to kind of surround my voice versus the dogs bark in the background. Because there's some mics where you're going to be able to hear everything going on. Um, so I don't know if that's what's going on. So it's possible if I'm kind of taking a minute to think and you can hear the dog barking, it's affecting my sound. So my apologies, guys. Anyway, this was a great conversation. I do want to do like a full addressing the comments because there's been some great comments out here. She better pray, get humble, and apologize to those who were trying to help her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you know what? I'm going to be honest. We say this all the time, and I'm not certainly not trying to teachy or preachy, but at the end of the day, I think people give the devil way too much credit. At the end of the day, people like to think that people are coming at them the wrong way because the devil is busy and this, that, and the third. No, God's trying to tell you something. Okay. All right. It's not, oh, stop giving the devil so much credit. Just because you don't like what you're hearing doesn't make it the devil being busy. God might be trying to tell you something. You just don't want to hear what's being said. And because you have a child's mind and think that you deserve to have everything, someone told you in Sunday school once that God is going to give you everything. No, he's not. And because you don't like what you're hearing, you decide that it's the devil busy trying to hold you back, or someone doesn't want you to be great, or people don't want you to win, or they're mad because you got someone laying in your bed at night, all of the things. No, it just might be God is trying to tell you something. Stop giving the devil so much credit, because when you do that, that is when I really believe that's how you invite negativity, because your thought process is that everything negative has to be some sort of evil forces conspiring against you. That's not the case. Sometimes you are getting your help and your courage and your information, but you choose to ignore it. Okay. All right, guys. I feel like we ended that on a very much positive note. At the end of the day, thank you guys so much for coming through. You guys are awesome and amazing. And I love you guys. Everyone who comes here to from Love Lies Lace Fronts, like I love you guys so much. All of this new community that we are now assembling over here. You guys are amazing. I love having these conversations. And this thing that nobody picking on Shirley and nobody's trying to pick on Nesta. This is real. This is something that's happening. This is something that people need to know about. And this is the type of stuff that makes communities stronger, because there's a sis out here that needs to know. Don't fall for the okey doke. If someone's trying to take your credit and your money and they want your phone book and they want to meet everybody and all of these things, like, you got to protect. Just because it doesn't cost you anything doesn't mean you don't need to protect it. You got to protect your network. You got to protect your resources. You got to protect your credit. You got to protect your body. You got to protect your assets. All things. All things is quite valuable. It's not just what's in your bank account that make you a valuable woman to somebody who doesn't have anything and sees all of your potential. This guy is someone who likes to use people, clearly, and he sees the potential that some people don't even see within themselves. And then what happens? They get caught blindsided because they have a low opinion of themselves. For Shirley, and I said this 2 weeks ago, for Shirley to even think of herself as the help, when you are on the baddest radio show in the land, that's what they say, the baddest radio show in the land, and you are the co-host, and you make I'm sure, an above average salary. You're making at least six figures. To not even have money to buy a good pair of shoes, sis, that's a problem. That's a problem. To have put yourself in that type of a position with all of these evictions and bankruptcies, and your position, if your position in your 60s is worse when you now than from when you met this man, that's bad. And there's a sis out here, or two or three or four, that need to know this. Be careful. If someone's trying to meet all your people, be leery. If they're not focused on you and they're focused on the next banquet and trying to get a tuxedo and trying to be in the know and networking and bringing business cards to your business functions, you might want to let that person sit down. Okay. Because you very well could be getting used. Okay. Everybody is not a hater. All right. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to let y'all go. This was so much fun. I enjoyed talking to y'all. I will see you guys next time. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out. If you are on the replay, make sure to hit I'm sure you will have already hit the like button for me. All it does is elevate the energy up in here, and it just lets YouTube know to keep recommending me out and recommending me, so that other people who might be interested in this type of content can find me as well. Okay. So anyway, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you guys soon. I will drop that video today. It is from November 1st. It is Shirley going to the hairdressers, and then Shirley coming back from the hairdressers, and all kinds of shenanigans ensued on that day. And then tomorrow I will drop the call that is the call immediately after he talks to Shirley, that he talked to Sonia, and then he either talked to his brother or his son. I can't identify the voice of who that is. But he's telling them what happened, and he's asking for like the 55th time of that day for someone to please call his lawyer, because BC is still not returning phone calls. Okay. So that's what'll be next on the menu for me. So today's Thursday, right? So between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just expect that to be the next little sequence in what we're going to be doing. Okay. All right, guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.